Hi everyone, before we get into the video, you can see on screen a beautiful Kokomi piece. I have actually commissioned an artist, Villiane1212, to draw this piece for me. It looks absolutely beautiful, and if you go onto his Twitter, you can also sort of grab this, let's say just for a screen, let's say wallpaper, sort of let's say a phone lock or like a home screen on your phone. You can use it in any appropriate way. Of course, do keep in mind that this is the low resolution photo with the watermark. So if you do intend on using this, please make sure to include the appropriate credit to him as an artist and tag me as well. As you can see, it was commissioned here by myself. So I gave it to him to draw for us, and you will also see that you can see it in the DM on Twitter. You can sort of confirm that yes, I was in fact the one that did give him the commission. So there should be no doubt about how this works. Do bear in mind that there are some other beautiful Kokomi artworks that you can check out, as well as some other beautiful artworks. So they're all brilliant. Check them out, and if you want to support the artist, please do so. And with that said, let's get into the video.
吸引テスト開始。安全距離確認。皆さん08ユニット。姿を見せよ。ご助力を。姿を見せ。熱々でしょ。6308ユニット。話が通じないならあれ狂いなさい。臨界のカゴ。いやそれ。さあ。夜の源源。行きましょう。熱々でしょ。吸引テスト開始。ご安心を。理想の風シミュレート。吸引テスト開始。断罪の名に。ご安心を。料理の時間だよ。安全距離確認。吸引テスト開始。理想の風話が通じないなら叩く。深海のカゴ行きましょう。それ。お嬢様の仰せのままに。安全距離確認。吸引テスト。ご安心を。断罪の名において料理の時間だよ。吸引テスト開始。夜の権限。ソーランの憩い。失策です。
Alright everyone, so at this point let's just mute some of the sounds, because I can just imagine that at this point with all the sound effects going on, some of you might just be pulling your hair out of your head. So let's just talk a bit. The simplified rotation isn't as simple, it's not simple as it sort of is described. It's actually a very difficult rotation to pull off. If you don't do it correctly, you can actually get a more like a terrible DPS loss. But the whole point of it is to just be a bit more flexible than the Furycraft version, and just to ease people into the general flow of what you need to do when you do go on to actually play the Furycraft version. That's just sort of like my idea behind it. And yeah, should you play this team comp? I think unless you're like a veteran player, I would not recommend running the Sukokomon team comp. It's very strict, it's very tight. But then of course the reason why we have team comps like this is to sort of evaluate the potential and the skill ceiling of different units and how they work together in teams, and hence the viability of different units. Of course there's also a bit of a practical limit to this. So for instance, a lot of you know that I run like an Ayaka solo no damage like runs during In the Abyss, and again that is not really a good argument for Ayaka's viability, because even though you theoretically don't need a shield, you don't need healing, you don't need any of the other utilities that other characters can provide, it is not the most practical thing. whereas I feel with this sort of Kokomi sort of team comp, it is actually something that you can acquire with a lot of skill, with a lot of like preparation, and of course it is F2P friendly because you mostly need craftable weapons, mostly 4-star weapons, and you just need a C0 Kokomi, and that makes it really great. However, there's a different side of the coin, and that is, should you even bother at all when you can just simply freeze everything like you can see in the background? And that is something that you need to decide as a player. Of course, I can't tell you what you should do and what you should run. I know a lot of people have said, well, you know what, this team doesn't make Kokomi good because I can just run something a lot easier, therefore Kokomi is bad. And I think, again, echoing my previous statements, we judge the viability of characters at their theoretical and practical skill ceiling. And that is how we judge whether characters are good or not whether they are comfortable for you to clear the spiral abyss. And in that sense, if you look at what Kokomi does, is she provides a lot of off-field hydro application, of course, like a bit of like stable healing towards the Sukokomon team comp. But a lot of people have said, well, just wait until there's another hydro unit in the game that does consistent off-field hydro, and then Kokomi is suddenly gonna lose her place, therefore she's bad, don't pull for her. And I think this is where people really need to understand what Kokomi is for. Kokomi is one of the most consistent, and I don't just mean in terms of damage, but in terms of utility units in the game, apart from being the best healer. And I can say that very proudly because I've evaluated Kokomi at C0 and at C6 versus all the other healers. And yes, even a 10k tick per tick Bennett cannot compete with the effective healing that Kokomi does per second. So yes, this character is packed with utility, and what makes her almost in a sort of certain sense broken or sort of irreplaceable is the fact that she is so consistent. And consistency more than raw DPS is actually what gives people a lot of success in this game, because you can use it at the skill floor and at the skill ceiling, like we've seen with the Sukokomon team comp, and that makes Kokomi such a beautiful character in my opinion. And yeah, that is why I love playing her in a variety of situations. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, please let me know what you think down below.